Guys, the Jazz get an unexpected win. It helps if Joel Embiid's not playing against the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoopsner Show. Okay, guys, before we get into it, let's just give a shout out to Prize Picks. Make sure if you haven't already, go to prizepicks.com, use promo code HoopsNerd. You will absolutely have a blast. Go there, use the promo code. It supports the channel, and it's free money. You put down $10, they add $10 to the account. If you do 20, they give you 20, and it's up to $100, and it supports the channel. So if you're one of those that likes to go look at the over-unders, pick the over-unders, and you're good at that, go there, go and do it. It's NFL, it's NBA, it's baseball. It's a lot of fun. I would go do that right now. All right. Also, one other thing we got to talk about. So it's a later show today. I am sorry. This winter is a little busy for me because my boys' team is in comp league. They're in 2 comp leagues this year. This is them right here. This is Gray. That's my son. This is their team, the West Davis Wolves, baby. Guess what? Today, quick little post-game show for the West Davis Wolves. They were down 10 with 5 minutes left. It was 25-15 for my boys' team with 5 minutes left. And that in youth basketball, that's a lot. That's a lot. They come back and win the game by 1 point. Shout out West Davis Wolves coming back. Oh, baby. Yes. It was awesome. 5 minutes left, down 10. They come back. They get 5 stops in a row. They go down. They score. They go down. They score. They knock down their free throws. With 2 seconds left, they got fouled by the other team inexplicably. And then they go to the free throw, and Titus knocks down the second of 2, and they win the game. Go West Davis Wolves. All right, but this is a Jazz show. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz. This was a game where they should have won, because the Sixers were without obviously Joel Embiid. They did not have Tobias Harris, so they were obviously not at full strength. You can see who did not play: Robert Covington, all these different players. They still had Tyrese Maxey, and he played 42 minutes. They tried to do everything they could to win this game, and the Jazz just beat them. And in a lot of ways, let's see. Let's get this ad off here. And let's bring down, let's do this. I'm not doing as good these days, guys. I'm getting soft, getting weak. Let's see. Lost my train of thought. They still had Tyrese Maxey, and Tyrese Maxey is having an awesome year. If you look at what he's doing this season, I haven't been watching it so super closely, but look at this: 25, 6.6 assists, 3 point, and this is on good efficiency, I believe, from what I have heard. Yeah, 45 from the field, 37 from 3. That's really solid. It definitely helps to play next to Joel Embiid, who is playing at an MVP level this year. Absolutely awesome. And so when you're the guy and it's all on you, things are a little more difficult. And even against a Jazz defense that, by the way, has actually played much better the last 12, 15 games, whatever it is. But, 9 for 24, 1 for 8 from 3. It's nice to get those open threes, right? It changes the dynamic of a player and a team when you don't have Joel Embiid on the floor. And so they obviously missed Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey obviously missed him because, you know what? When you're not getting the best defender, it's harder. And Utah, you got to give credit to Utah. They slowed down Tyrese Maxey in a big-time way. The Utah Jazz defense, the first half of the games that they've played so far, the first, 12, 15, I think they're close to, how many games have they played so far this year? They have played, let's see, Utah's played just under 40. Those first 20 games, the defense for Utah was not as good. These last 20, it has gotten better. They have gotten more comfortable doing what they do, whether it's the zone, whether it's box and one, whether it's man-to-man. And then I'm sure there's other intricacies they're doing that we don't quite see just from, through the TV screen. But the Jazz have just gotten better defensively, and it shows tonight in a night where they needed to slow Tyrese Maxey down. Because if Tyrese Maxey has a big night tonight, this game might have been a little different. This was closer than the score tells you. The Jazz kind of pulled away at the end, which is honestly pretty impressive. This was the the back end of a back-to-back on the road. They get destroyed by Boston, and so a lot of these guys didn't play all that much the game before. They play in this one. You got to give them credit. They're probably tired. They play. The next game for the Jazz is not going to be as easy. I believe it's on Monday. Oh, come on. Let's see. Let's look at the schedule here. January 7th, January 8th. So the Jazz will play the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's going to be at 6 o'clock Eastern. That's going to be a tough game. That's going to be third game in 4 nights. So this was a pretty big win for the Jazz because, like we said, the Jazz are going this 4-game stretch for the Jazz, especially this 3-game road trip, was brutal. Boston, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and then they end it with Denver. I mean, that is the toughest 4-game stretch literally you could create. And so the Jazz get one of them, which is awesome. To get one win out of this stretch, that's huge, to convey the pick. And then let's just see, where does this leave the Jazz? I didn't even look. This leaves the Jazz at 11. So this gains half a game on the Brooklyn Nets. Look at that. 7-3 of their last 10 still. The Lakers are plummeting. Look at this. The Jazz are only a half game behind the Lakers. They are only a single game now behind the Golden State Warriors. I guess all of Draymond Green's mental illness has been cured in 3 weeks. That's a miracle. But he'll be back soon. But you know what? I don't know if they're better with Draymond Green because they weren't doing much better beforehand. And he can't shoot, so you don't have to guard him. And the Jazz might be able to turn things around on Golden State. And it's not like Joel Embiid has had the most culture-improving presence. Him and his knuckle sandwiches on whoever's in front of him, punching, choking, body slamming. I mean, he's a WWE superstar now. It's just what's his finisher? Is he going to go with the chokehold? Is he going to go with the pile driver? Is he going to go with the jump kick to the face? I don't know. I guess we'll find out when Draymond Green returns in his WWE return. The Draymond Green. He'll come out and he will punch you in the nose, baby. Draymond Green. I don't even know what this show is tonight. But anyways, we shall see what Draymond Green brings in his return to the WWE ring off the top ropes. What will he do? Let's just hope he doesn't injure one of these Jazz players, okay? Can you just not injure one of my players, Draymond? Can you just punch one of your own guys again instead of one of the Jazz players? Please don't choke anyone. By the way, and this is off topic, if you haven't seen the SNL sketch they did when Draymond Green was on SNL, it was an actor playing Draymond Green. And they're like, well, you keep congratulating yourself that you didn't choke him for too long. And Draymond's like, yeah, well, I was trying to kill him. I don't know. If you guys have seen it, I can't share the clip. Go look up SNL Draymond Green. It is worth your time. It is very good. Anyways, let's talk about the Jazz. That was a long intro, right? Like and subscribe. Anyways, the Jazz go with their standard starting unit, and it went really well. When they don't have a dominant center, look what happens. John Collins had a monster night. 19 points, 90% from the field. He was just getting whatever he wanted. And look at this. Let's see. I swear he took a 3 and knocked. Oh, that's right. They took it away. It was a 2-pointer. Anyways, this should be 1 for 1. I'm going to count it as him hitting a 3. Anyways, the shot was falling for John Collins, and he looks a little more confident lately. And it's kind of interesting because he's been in trade rumors, and he has been having just the greatest attitude. He is treating this team like a true leader, and I think the Jazz really are trying to trade him. From every rumor we hear, they all mention it. They are trying very hard to get a trade done because you know what? They want to see Taylor Hendricks play. Taylor Hendricks has shown that he's ready to start playing, but it's hard to get Taylor Hendricks on the floor when you've got John Collins and Kelly Olynyk on the floor. So that's very tough. If the Jazz can find a partner that wants John Collins for even like what they got from Atlanta, if the Jazz can get like a really weak first round pick, I bet you they'd take it because he has a pretty big contract with at least 1 year more on it. And it's pretty big. So I think anyways, the moral of what I'm trying to say here, let's keep focused, James, is John Collins has had an incredible leadership. He's shown incredible character and poise. To be in trade rumors is not going to be fun. I mean, if you guys were at work and you were hearing trade rumors, like I work at a credit union. I work at UFirst Credit Union, actually. And if I was sitting at my desk and I just see a tweet go across the board, CEO of UFirst Credit Union looking at trades possibly for James Hansen to Mountain America or America First, you'd be like, what the heck? You know? And I'm sure that's the feeling that he has. Obviously, it's different, but it would be hard not to be frustrated. And all he's done has played well, been a great leader. And I just want to say that. I'm just really impressed by John Collins' character. Really good dude, it seems like. Simone Fontecchio is such a nice player. I know he's not. There are nights where you're just like, man, he can't seem to quite hit a shot. When his shot gets more consistency, he just turns into quite the player. Tonight, 3 for 9 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. But you know what? He's worth having on the floor. Look, he's a +6 because he defends. He's big, and he does more than just shoot the ball. At the very beginning of this year, last season, you're worth at least a late first round. Thank you. Thank you, JC to Triple W, DW to CB back in the day. But anyways, thank you. I would hope I would at least get heavily protected first. Anyways, I would like to see Simone Fontecchio get a little more consistency. Sometimes, in fact, I'm just curious. Let's just go because he really is one of the best stories of this season. But I would just like, that's the next step. When, if you want to become a good player and become a great player, it's consistency. That's really, and that's for every leap. You know, if you're a great player and you want to become an all-star or an all-NBA, consistency. How consistently can you improve your scoring and then keep it there? Not have these nights where it's like 24 tonight, the next game 8. You know, can you be consistently getting that 20-point benchmark? You know, and I'm not saying I expect that from Fontecchio, but what I would hope from Fontecchio is more consistent shooting. Can we at least get closer to 40% every game? Because if you look at this, last 5 games, by the way, shout out to Basketball Reference. This last 5 games thing is really nice. But actually, you know what? He's shutting me up. Well, look at this. 1 for 5, 1 for 2, and then tonight he goes 1 for 6. Can we please do what we're doing here where it's 2 for 5, 3 for 4, 3 for 8? Just more consistently knocking it down. That would be amazing. Milo Pond, welcome to Rookie, my man. Welcome to the channel, Milo. Everyone give a shout out to Milo, a rookie with potential, baby. Lots of potential. So anyways, that's just one thing I'd like to see from Fontecchio. Can he at least make 2 a game? In fact, that's the goal. Not takes, makes. As the great Jerry Sloan once says, I don't want shot takers, I don't want shooters, I want makers, right? Anyone can be a shooter. Anyone can be a shooter. I could be in the NBA and be a shooter. What you want is makers. We need makers. And I think for Simone Fontecchio to get to the next level as a player, 2 a game. Make 2 a game on average. In fact, what is he? Let's go look at his thing today. 3 points. Look at that. He's 1.2 per game. He's actually, 1.9. So he's almost there. So he's kind of shutting me up. Simone is going through the screen saying, hey, I'm making these shots. All right. Was that bad? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. But anyways. He's 1.9. Can he be like 2.1 and make 2 per game on average? Can you do that? All right, Simone, come on. Molto bene. Make it happen. Okay. Lauri Markkanen had a monster night. Absolutely monster. 12 for 19, 5 for 9 from 3. Look at this. 55, 63, 55, 80. That is some monster stuff. 33 points, 13 rebounds. One of the things I really like about Markkanen that I don't think gets a lot of credit, that he deserves a little more. I mean, he gets a lot of credit from Jazz fans, but I don't think the national media realizes how good of a rebounder he is. He is in like the top 10, top 15% of rebounders at his position. At his position, he's one of the best in the NBA. But just as pure rebounder overall, fantastic rebounder. When the ball is in his vicinity, he is typically getting it. And in fact, what is he rebounds per game this year? 8.4. Let's just do goals for this season. Can you get that to 9, Lauri? I know you can. Can you get that to 9? It's hard when you're going up against big-time guys, and also Markkanen's usually on the floor with two other, pretty big guys. I mean, whether it's John Collins, he's usually on the floor with Walker Kessler, Kelly Olynyk. It's hard to get 10 rebounds a game when you've got 3 really good rebounders on the floor. But it would be nice, because this is not that uncommon for Markkanen to get these kind of big rebound nights, And 4 offensive rebounds. That's one thing I noticed this game. I loved this game from Markkanen. Markkanen came into this one and said, we're winning this game. And you can see it right here. Offensive rebounds to me in a lot of ways are hustle stats. Like, they're like, I give a crap stats. They're, I want to win this game stats, if that makes sense. I'm going to bust through this wall, and I'm getting this rebound, and I'm putting it back in. And that's how you go 12 for 19, is these 4 offensive rebounds. And you go rewatch this game. By the way, shout out Jazz Plus. The replay is awesome, and it is up when they said it would. I don't know if it was quite there beginning of the year. It is now, and it's awesome. I love Jazz Plus. I am getting Jazz Plus next year. I got this hat from Jazz Plus. I like it. Anyways, awesome night from Lauri Markkanen, 12 for 19, and some of that is from this. This is like give a S stats right there. Block shot, only 1 turnover. And you know what? He only got 1 assist, but that's because he's the finisher. So, big time night from Lauri Markkanen. Colin Sexton, we've got to give credit to Colin Sexton. I don't know if he's going to get traded or not. I know that there have been rumors that he's on the trade block, but I think the Jazz might want to keep him long term. He has changed his game and mentality, and he is deferring to other players. And what it's doing is it is keeping him on the floor. He was getting, earlier in the season, he was getting 10 to 15 minutes a night because he was just playing such selfish basketball. And he has changed his game. He is moving the ball around. Look at this. 10 assists for Colin Sexton. That is monster stuff. And that is a credit to his humility, to be quite honest, to say, I don't have to be the guy. I can learn to play the best. And it really changed that day that Will Hardy said, if you want to play, you need to pass the ball, and you need to play hard and pass the ball, and you need to give a bleep about the Utah Jazz. And he has done all 3. It was never a question about how hard he plays, honestly. Let's see. The Jazz Plus hat is almost as good as a Hoops Nerd hat. Absolutely. By the way, the Hoops Nerd store is up. There's like a t-shirt there. I don't know what happened with that. I'll have to go figure that out. But anyways, I just am really impressed with Colin Sexton's willingness to change and evolve as a player. It just shows his character, that he is willing to trust his coach. And look at this. 9 for 14 from the field. He's passing the ball more, and guess what? He's getting more shots and better ones because he is trusting his teammates. His teammates are now trusting him. And in all honesty, as someone who's watching the game, and there's times in a game where you're like, man, I'd really like them to just give this guy the ball so he can go score a bucket. Colin Sexton's kind of that guy. Like, when Colin Sexton gets the ball with an edge on his defender, I'm pretty happy about it because he goes and he scores. Look at that, 9 for 14. 10 assists. This right here is monster. He is absolutely playing within the offense. He does not have the best vision of every play. If you looked at all the players on the Jazz, he probably doesn't have the best vision. That probably goes to Keontae. But he is learning how to make the moves within the offense. He understands the offense, and he trusts it. And he is moving the ball within it, and it's absolutely paying off. And, he may not be the long-term starter, but he's certainly earned it. And I think the Jazz would be more than happy to just keep Colin Sexton on this team and have him be the 6th man of the year next year. I think he absolutely could be that. Why not? Because he can come in, and the way Will Hardy does his rotations, it's not necessarily who starts, it's who finishes. And Will Hardy absolutely does that. If someone's playing great, he plays them. I mean, look, Jordan Clarkson, he got some extended run tonight, but he was not shooting it very well. But he did go 8 for 9 from the field and 6 assists. So, but anyways, I can't praise Colin Sexton enough. He has changed everything about his game and what he does and who he is, and it's awesome to see. He is now an additive player instead of a negative player. It was empty calories to start the season. They were not points that helped you win the game. They were empty calorie points. Now these are absolutely winning points, if that makes sense, because they are the shots within the offense that you want to be taken. You are finding the best shots, because look at this. That's at least 20 points created on top of the 22. You know, it's awesome. And not even all assists are created equal. There are assists where you're just hunting an assist. They're the Rajon Rondo assists sometimes, where you're just kind of moving around until they finally come and two guys come out and then you dump it off to the big and he just lays it in. So, sometimes that's fine, but overall, if you are getting these within the offense and making the right reads and making the right play, these are what you want. Awesome to see. Big time shout out to Colin Sexton. Chris Dunn. Not a lot from Chris Dunn, but he was a +8. You got to like the defense. He does get, 5 rebounds and an assist, 2 blocks and a steal. So this is a pretty typical Chris Dunn night. He only took 1 shot. And I think Chris Dunn is the reason John Collins is actually starting at center. And you know what? It's working. For everyone who complains about it and, wanting Walker Kessler to start, who me also, by the way, would like that, it's working. John Collins had a monster night tonight. He just hasn't had a lot of these nights, but man, when he has the good nights, you've got to appreciate it. And I think John Collins is starting at center because Chris Dunn is not a knockdown 3-point shooter, and it's working. The Jazz are 7-3 in their last 10. So I know the Jazz aren't going to win the championship this year, but they very well might make the playoffs. My mom and dad are here visiting. We watched the game together tonight on the replay. How cool is that, by the way, for my mom and dad to come to see Gray play? They have a nice big comeback win. Pretty cool. Anyways, Chris Dunn, I love Chris Dunn. I think his mentality is one that you want on this team for the next 5-10 years, honestly. Chris Dunn could be on this team as long as he wants because he is great locker room guy, great leadership, great character. It's just the type of guy you want on this team, like mentoring your rookies. Honest, like fantastic. And plus he's starting for the Jazz and doing a good job, On a championship team, he's not starting. He may not even be in the rotation on a championship team, but on this Jazz team, it's great. And he's doing a great job and you just got to appreciate it. Walker Kessler only played 19 minutes tonight, but that's okay. It's a back-to-back. If you don't need to play him too much, don't. Luckily, the Jazz, Markkanen played 35 minutes. He wanted this. You could just tell. But Kessler plays just under 20 minutes, but in those 20 minutes, he was solid. 10 points, 4 rebounds. It's been the weirdest season ever for Walker Kessler, but it's nice to see him play solid tonight. So, Jordan Clarkson, we mentioned it. The shooting wasn't quite there tonight. He missed every single 3 he took, it looks like. But he played pretty decent. I think Jordan Clarkson's going to get traded here at some point. I think tomorrow. It's actually Jordan Clarkson. I think it's the 8th. I think Monday is when he's officially able to be traded. So I guess if you're watching this tomorrow, happy Jordan Clarkson could possibly get traded Eve. I don't know if everyone celebrates that holiday. Most people don't, but it is something that's happening. And the reason I mention it is because I just think it's the thing we've talked about. The Jazz are a little bit of a weird in-between here where they're trying to win some games, but they'd like to develop their players. They can't really develop Keyonte George at this point until they trade Jordan Clarkson. And Jordan Clarkson right now in this last stretch has helped them win games, so that's great. But the Jazz at some point need to move him so that Keyonte George can develop and play. Because if you watch the game, watch how much Keyonte George just kind of has to defer to Jordan Clarkson. And it's a little weird. I think that's a little bit of Keyonte George just like showing respect and stuff like that. But I would just like Keyonte George to get that ball and be able to run the pick and roll and just run the show, at least with this second unit, because I think it's a more effective thing for the Jazz to have happen. Not only will it help him develop, but I think they'll actually be a little better. Jordan Clarkson has really picked things up the last week or two, but we also know that there are times where Jordan Clarkson has just really bad nights. They lost the game against the Pelicans not too long ago if Jordan Clarkson just moves the ball a little bit more. So I think at some point they are going to have to move Jordan Clarkson, but JC did triple-double. Keyonte did some learning tonight against max defense Maxey. Yeah. Honestly, Maxey only shoots in this game 37%. So the Jazz guards did a great job, and that includes Keyonte George guarding him. So great job. Ochai Agbaji, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded too. I don't know. I doubt it. I think the Jazz would much rather keep him because the more athletes that can shoot the ball, the better. And Ochai Agbaji is one of those guys that you just would like. I'd rather take a chance on keeping Ochai Agbaji than just bringing in another younger player, because I do think that he can turn things around. The shooting's not there. They mentioned on the show he's like 1 for his last 13 in the last 5 games. For whatever reason, the shooting stroke is not there, but he'll get that back. We know he can shoot the corner 3. I just wish he was a little more consistent. It's the same thing with Simone Fontecchio. It's consistency. You want to become a good NBA rotation player, then you need to be consistently good. It's not that complicated. Are you consistently knocking down your shots? Are you consistently making the right reads? Are you consistently defending well? Are you consistently not making bad fouls, like not fouling 3-point shooters and things like that? You know, it's been a little rough the last week or two. And I know they're playing good teams, but this is where you learn. Can you do this against good teams and actually show you belong on the floor against good teams? You know, it's been a mixed bag recently. I would like it to be better, and I do believe in it, but you know what? Ochai is not as young as you'd think. Ochai is, I guess he's 23, so there's plenty of time. But he is no 19-year-old rookie. He is a 4-year college player. This is his 2nd season in the NBA. Kind of needs to figure it out sooner than later, right? Because the Jazz, we've talked about the picks a lot. It's my favorite thing to talk about, to be honest. You know, next year they're bringing in 3 first-round picks. This draft, no, but the next draft, yes, unless they trade one of them. I hope not. And you can kind of look at the grand scheme of things with this Jazz team. I think they want to make those picks. You know, the more shots you have at a superstar, the more you want to take. The Jazz aren't getting a superstar in free agency. They're just not. You're getting it in the draft. That's how the Jazz do it. And no one's trading their superstar to you either. So you got to get as many shots at the lottery ticket until you win one of them. And Ochai's got to be careful, because you know what? Next year, if let's say the Jazz get real lucky and they hit, that's just more players on the roster you got to compete with. You've got to show it now, baby. Show it now. Do it now. Start hitting those shots. Get in the gym. Put up shots after the game. Are you going into warm-ups? Are you spending that extra hour putting up your 1,000 threes a day? Are you doing it? Come on. Get it in. Get it done. Do it. Do you need to do 2,000 threes a day? Come on, man. Come on, Ochai. I believe in you. You can do this. You got to do it. Kelly Olynyk, I'm going to make a video tomorrow, I think in the afternoon. I'm going to talk about it. I think the Jazz are probably going to trade Kelly Olynyk as well, just for the fact that they need Taylor Hendricks on the floor. They do. You need Taylor Hendricks on the floor because, in all honesty, I think Taylor Hendricks helps you win games. His defense is big time, and I think it's going to be really fun after trade deadline to watch Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks play a lot of minutes with that bench. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting. I mean, of all the players that might be traded, everyone we've heard from rumors. Here's everyone we've heard in rumors. Lauri Markkanen has also been someone that the Jazz have said he's not untouchable. So he's not untouchable. Does he mean he's probably going to be traded? I think he's going to be on the Jazz after trade deadline. But I tell you what, there are a lot of rumblings. I was talking to Michael. He has friends over that write for OKC, and they made a good point. I think OKC is going to go hard after Lauri Markkanen. They said 6 first-round picks is what they might throw at the Jazz. And they have good picks. They have it's not like, you know, when you want a really nice sandwich and your dad says, well, we'll go get hoagies from Winco. We can get some lunch meat, some great value lunch meat, you know, and that's what that's the sandwich. Well, the type of sandwich that, like, the Oklahoma City Thunder have, they have what's called Jersey Mike's. John, if you've never been to Jersey Mike's, do yourself a favor, go to Jersey Mike's, get it Mike's way. Even just the standard turkey provolone with the Mike's way. Oh my gosh, dude. The salt and pepper, the vinegar, the tomatoes, get that mayo on top. They also have a cherry relish. Oh my gosh. Those are the type of picks that the Oklahoma City Thunder have. And one thing that those writers there at OKC mentioned through the blogosphere that we are a part of, the multiverse of bloggers and YouTubers, is they mentioned that when it was Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and James Harden and they had that window, they fumbled the ball. Oklahoma City should have won a title. They should have signed James Harden to long-term money. They should have made some moves to get some more ancillary guys, shooters to surround them. They chose the wrong guy. Forgot his name. He was the center that could shoot the ball. I forgot his name. Anyways, if you can remember, let me know in the comments. I can't remember. They fumbled the ball. Now they went through a long, hard rebuild to get where they're at now. They're at the top of the Western Conference. They're as much a contender as anyone else out there. And they have all these picks. And they're the Jersey Mike's picks. They ain't the great value, Walmart deli picks. These are the good stuff. These are Jersey Mike's picks. And they might throw 5 or 6 at the Jazz, big time ones, because who would fit perfectly with that team? Lauri Markkanen. And they might win a title with that. And if you do you care about having all your picks? If you know you can win a championship and the cost is 5 picks, are you not going to try and do that? I think Danny Ainge knows it. And you know what? This Jazz team, it was a nice win tonight, but they were able to win this game because they didn't have Joel Embiid. They didn't have Tobias Harris. It's just something to remember. When they played Boston, they're at full strength, and they got shellacked. Tonight they play nicely and they get a nice win, but you know what? They're not quite there. And now, if OKC doesn't give you the Jersey Mike's picks, if he doesn't give you that Jersey Mike's sandwich, then you're not trading him. Next year, you just rest Lauri Markkanen a lot, and you try to get your pick as maximized as you can, and you develop Keontae George, you develop Taylor Hendricks, and you start playing Bryce Sensabaugh. We'll see. Next year is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be another development year. I'll be surprised. But anyways, long story short, Lauri Markkanen is available at the right price. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I would not say it's impossible. I think there's a lot of smoke out there. I have heard on 4 different podcasts. I hear from the writers. I hear a lot of things. A lot of these people have connections and they hear things. Hoop Collective, Bill Simmons, Jake Fisher, all these guys, the big time guys. Woj even said to me on Threads that there are plenty of teams that want him, but the price is steep. Doesn't mean he's unsellable. John Collins is probably the most likely to be traded. So Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, Colin Sexton can be had if someone wants him. He's playing really well, so I think that price went up. But he can be had if someone really wants him. And honestly, there's some teams out there that might be interested because he's playing really well. Colin Sexton's having a nice season. What's he doing this season? 22, look, let's see, 15.9 points, so it's on the uptick. 47% from the field, 33% from 3, but that's, you know what? He's playing better recently, and this is in a starting role, so I don't know. This is going to go up. I'm actually surprised that's not at least 36, but he can be had if you want him. He's playing really well. Chris Dunn, I mean, if someone really wants him, although he's so cheap, I think the Jazz honestly would rather just keep Chris Dunn. There's some guys you just want to keep for culture and leadership, and he's one of those guys. Walker Kessler is not untouchable, but the Jazz aren't going to be offering him. If someone says we'll give you just an insane, I mean, if Houston says we'd like Walker Kessler and here's Amen Thompson, I think the Jazz probably do it, but it would have to be something crazy like that, which is not going to happen. So I would just be this is very, very unlikely to be traded. Jordan Clarkson, likely on the trade block. Keontae George, not at all. He is part of the future. Ochai Agbaji, same thing as Walker Kessler. You're not offering him, but if they really want him and they want to give you, let's say Oklahoma City says, here, we'll take the protections off your pick. We're going to give you 5 picks on top of that. And one of them is like a top 5 pick in this draft. You're taking it. You're not worrying about Ochai Agbaji. And Kelly Olynyk probably very likely to be traded. Although, you know what? His contract expires next season, and you know what? He's got value. There's a lot of teams that are going to be interested in him. He provides a lot of depth for a lot of people. And so Kelly Olynyk is likely on the trade block. Danny Ainge does not like to waste assets because he's a very good GM, and he understands that every single one of these players, you're trying to maximize what you get out of them, whether it's on the floor or in the trade market. And Kelly Olynyk, I just don't think Danny Ainge wants to go into trade deadline and just let Kelly Olynyk walk free and go to the Boston Celtics for free, no pick at all. I think he'd much rather go to the Celtics and say, give me something and you can have him, something rather than nothing. And then Talen Horton-Tucker, I doubt anyone wants Talen Horton-Tucker. He makes like $11 million a year, and it's negative money. So the Jazz will be happy because his money actually falls off next year. The Jazz cap situation is actually pretty good. There's some things that are like, a little hairy. John Collins' contract is one of those. Jordan Clarkson's contract is actually one of those. But the cap does go up next year. And so the Jazz are actually in pretty darn good shape. I think they're one of 7 teams that have cap space as we speak, actually, especially going into next season. They are one of the 7 best cap situations in the NBA. So the Jazz have done a good job of cleaning up their cap. 2 years ago, it was not good. It was a hairy situation, and it was part of why they had to do what they did. Everyone talks about, we should have kept Rudy Gobert. We should have kept Donovan Mitchell. Well, guess what? The Jazz were in the double repeater tax, and they were going to get double repeater hit, and it was going to get bad fast. That was another thing that was happening that kept this Jazz team from. They just had so much bad GM decisions going on, from picking Udoka Azubuike, from trading Derek Favors to the Oklahoma City Thunder that were still paying for that, and then the cap situation. It was just not good. They were signing players. Rudy Gay was the best signing they did that one offseason. That's the signing. Matt, was it Foster or Matt Thomas? Yeah, Matt Thomas. Freaking joke. The cap situation was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Now the cap is clean. The Jazz can re-sign Lauri Markkanen if they want. There is no wall the Jazz are against. They have every option in front of them, and I think that's what the goal is with Danny Ainge, is like, let's just have multiple options and pathways we can go. And you never know. Maybe Luka Doncic does become available, and the Jazz can throw an insane package at Dallas for Luka Doncic. I don't know. We'll see. But guess what, guys? There is no tankathon tonight because the Jazz are at 11. They did it again. And look, the situation, I was a little bummed tonight because look at the scores. Let's see. So, stupid Houston beats Milwaukee, so that sucks. If you look at the situation, like the Jazz needed that loss to happen. They could have been 17-17. Utah would be close to getting at Houston here. As it stands, the Jazz are 2.5 games back. But it's a long season. Houston's pretty good. Don't be surprised. There's 2 teams that I think you could see a surprise offer to the Jazz for someone like Markkanen, just like a crazy offer. One of those is Houston. I think they'd be really happy to give a big-time offer because they want to win. They want to be good now. We've seen that with their moves. The other team is Detroit. The rumor is out there that Detroit is trying to make win-now moves. And if there's one thing that Danny Ainge likes to take advantage of, it's the place he likes to be, and the Jazz are kind of there, is bad owner. The owner of Detroit, his whatever his money is made in, it's made in it's like not savory. It's like jail. I can't remember what he does, but it's something to do with jails and I'll have to look it up. But anyways, he's not great, and he doesn't do a good job as the owner. And then Troy Weaver is like the most hated man in Detroit right now. He has done a bad job, and there's nothing better than Danny Ainge going into a negotiation with a bad owner and a GM trying to save his job. And that a desperate GM, bad owner, that's the makings of a great trade. Look at what happened with Minnesota. They were in the middle of ownership change. They go to Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez wanted to make a big-time splash. The GM had to, do what the owner wanted, and they make an just insane offer for Rudy Gobert from the Jazz. You go to Cleveland, not the most impressive GM. Kobe Altman has been okay. There's a relationship there, but the owner we know is, I mean, he wrote that letter to LeBron in Comic Sans, literally. Makes an offer for Donovan Mitchell because they want to make the playoffs and prove that LeBron made a mistake. And now the Jazz have an incredible treasure trove of picks. And things aren't working out with Donovan Mitchell. As we all know, he's going to New York eventually. Unless New York goes and gets someone else. Apparently New York is trying to... I mean, New York got OG Anunoby, and they're going to have to give him a contract. And Jalen Brunson is on the books. He has one of the best contracts in the league. They're going to try to go big game hunting. And if they go and they get some sort of big game out there, there might not be room for Donovan Mitchell. Because I don't know if Donovan Mitchell fits next to Jalen Brunson anyway. You know? I don't know. Also, look out for Miami. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But whatever it is, the Cavs and the Timberwolves, the trades the Jazz made are still going to be just elite trades for Utah. And I think they are just so excited to see what happens 2025 with those picks, baby. Oh my gosh. Ooh, those are some Jersey Mike's picks. That's what those are. Those are some Jersey Mike's subs sandwich picks. Mike's way, with the mayo, with the cherry relish, whatever it is you like. It's the Jersey. It's Mike's way, baby. It's Danny's way. In fact, that's what we should talk about. It's a Danny pick. Danny's way. Something like that. I don't know. All right, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. Thank you for being on the show tonight, guys. If you're a Jazz fan and you haven't subscribed already, what's going on? What the what? Have you not subscribed yet? Are you for cereal? If you haven't subscribed yet, I don't even know what to say. I'm honestly offended. Not that offended. I don't care. But it would be nice. It would be nice if you would subscribe to the channel, and we can talk about Jersey Mike's subs in the future together. All right. Let's give a shout out to Baby Elliot Matson, Dangerous Danger FC, Christian House Money to Haas, the Outlaw Jesse James Nelson. Oh my gosh, I forgot the nickname. What was it? It's not just Josh. It's all the Josh you need, Josh in your pod. All the Josh you need, just Josh in your pod. Ryan Perry, the legend. Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from down under. Yes, Jake C. Can. See ya. Lexa later. Bill Ford Tough. Alexander Tufts. Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo. Jordan the GOAT best roll. TGD Total Game Domination. Tyson Price, the price is right. Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire. JC, the triple double. DW to CB back in the day. Patrick Kagubo, the connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, like I said, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. Go to PrizePicks, use promo code HoopsNerd. I will talk to you next time.